AI, AI, AI. AI has been the mega buzzword for almost 3 years at this point. But the question is, can it replace our jobs now? Can AI make PC enthusiasts worthless? Let's find that out, but first, hit the intro editor.
Bruh.
First, let's set the rules. We'll ask DeepSeek to build a PC with a budget of 500, 1000 and 2000 USD. We want to keep this realistic, so if the budget exceeds like $10 or $20 more, it will be fine, but not by too much, and bonus points if we can spare 10 or 20 bucks. For example, a build will be fine but costs $490. But that would be very unlikely because we want to fully utilize our budget, so in this 3-round match, if the AI can get the most points, AI wins, and if I get the most points, I win. And yes, no peripherals or monitor included, and the pricing will be the US pricing, plus all the parts from eBay and PC Part Picker are acceptable. So let's get started. So this is our first round in AI versus PC enthusiast, and it's $500. So let's start. First, let me type so here we go. Oh my goodness, why Cloudflare? Okay. Let's see, building a $500 gaming PC is definitely possible. Duh. Okay, so let's see what it says. $500 gaming PC, price fluctuates, shop for deals. Okay. Shop for deals. Okay. CPU cooler. CPU, AMD Ryzen 5 5600, 12 thread, okay, decent start, ASRock B550M HDV. As far as I think, this is also a decent motherboard. Basic but reliable, okay, we need basic but reliable stuff. And yeah, no VRM heatsink, to be honest. Which is a down for me at least, and only like how many VRM phases are here? Let's see if there is any official claim or something like that. Premium 50 ampere power choke. As far as I'm seeing, there are 6 VRM phases, but no heatsink. So let's see if we can find a better motherboard, even if it's B540. Anyways, let's see AMD Radeon RX 6600 8 gigs. Yeah, this is actually a good choice. Not bad. Silicon Power. Silicon Power is actually a decent brand, and yeah, 16 gigs. No complaint about this also. And Team Group MP33. As far as I think, this is actually a budget drive, but no complaints because it's already only $500. So anyways, so let's see. The power supply, EVGA 600 watt 80 plus. Bronze. Wait, is this the model name? I have to check it later. Oh, I could check it now. So let's see. Let's speak on ZTT PSU tier list. To be honest, Zach actually did a pretty good job making this list. This is actually a pretty comprehensive list. Even I'm like living in a country like Bangladesh, I can still use this because like almost every PSU in existence has found itself in this list. So props to Zach. Let's see. Okay, so let's see let's see if there is anything like a no series or something like that. So Supernova, there are 3 series. There is a no series, there is a BQ, BV series, G series, and one M1 mining. Okay, this is a mining class, so already excluded. Supernova W series. Okay, so let's see what specific model of EVGA PSU is DeepSeek referring. B2, no, this is not. B3, okay, B3 450, 550 and 650 watt has C- rating, which is okay for a $500 build. Also the BR series, so there are quite a few series that has good ratings for the budget, so props to DeepSeek for that also. So the case, Cooler Master Master Box Q300L. I saw this case before, and this is actually a pretty good, or like a pretty decent budget friendly case. So props to DeepSeek for that. Even though it actually picks the listings of 2024, this build is still relevant. So this is a pretty decent build. So let's see if we can build anything better than this. Let's start. Okay, so the AI has done its part and now it's our turn. Let's first choose a CPU. So the AI actually choose the 5600, which is actually like 120 bucks. Nice. So, but I'm not actually interested in the 5600. I'm actually interested in the 3600. I know it's a lot less powerful, but still get PCI Express 4 support, so it's still worth it if you really want to invest some more money into the GPU side. So I'm adding the 3600, and then CPU cooler should be stock, and stock is okay. And of course we're on a budget, so the stock cooler makes more sense. Then I actually got a good motherboard, I think, B550, a good B550, which is the, like, I think as far as I think it was ASRock. Bro, my typo. Okay, it should be, here we go. So we can actually cheap out at the CPU for a bit, but in exchange of that, we can get a really good motherboard, like the Phantom Gaming 4. So here we go. We added it. Here we go. This is a really good motherboard. And for memory, I think Patriot sticks are the best. Patriot. And I think 16 gigs are enough. Viper-Steel 16 gigs. So I'm actually seeing these listings. And Viper-Steel for... Okay, so I'm getting a 3600 for 45 bucks. Which is actually decent value. And as far as I remember, the AI chose silicon power and it's 3200. And it's around $41. AI has actually like done a pretty good job at this sector. But I'm going for the Patriot anyways. Okay, so I'm editing this. So I'm choosing a storage. The Kingston V3, I think this should be the default. Or the Crucial P3 Plus. These two should be the default. And I'm going for the NV3 because it's also decent enough. Video card. Okay, to be honest, there is actually like no good like new video card. If you ask me, I would actually like recommend like an used card. Voila, we actually got some RX 6600s, and I think I need an RX 6600 for under 200 bucks, and we actually got some. 6600 XT for 190 bucks. No way. No way. No way. Is this broken or something like that? Oh, okay. Okay, so this is actually a really good deal. A 6600 XT for 190 bucks. Sign me up. I'll get this anyway. And the 3600 shouldn't bottleneck this. So let's look for a case. Let's look for a cheap MEATX case. Okay, Montec XR, ATX mid tower, so it actually supports ATX mid, but I'm actually looking for the lowest price. Zilman S2. Okay, do you guys know about Zilman? I didn't heard about Zilman that much. So can you guys let me know in the comments that how this brand is? Anyways, let's see what Thermaltake can provide. Bro, this case is, I think, almost old as me. We're gonna add this thing. 39 bucks. Not a bad deal for it. And how many bucks we have only? Oh, we don't have much to spend now. And we already need a power supply for it. I think the MSI Mag AGBN is actually a good C-class PSU. Yeah, it's actually one of the cheapest PCs available. And plus, it actually has a good PC rating as far as I think. So let's see if I can find the AGBN. So, Mag AGBN. Okay. Yeah, it's a C-class. It's actually a C-class PSU. So, of course, we can take this. Never cheap out on PSUs, of course. But the problem is we're short on budget. Really short. I think we should compromise on the motherboard as far as I think. We can actually take a B450. With the lowest price. Here we go. So yeah, for a few bucks more, we can actually have another M.2 slot. So yeah, we sacrificed PCI Gen 4 for a good GPU. Sorry buddy, I can't take you because you actually need some good power. So as far as I think, this is the best. Let me see. calculator. What was the price of the whole PC? 362, eh? 362 plus 167. 167. Yeah, we can't. It's $30 more. It's too much. We can max out for like 20, but we can't actually use this. But what we can use is a cheat code. Here we go. We can easily take this or take this. But the fact is, what's the size of this thing? Yes, the length is actually compatible, but to be honest, you actually need a GPU sag bracket in order to actually use this card properly. I actually recommend a GPU sag bracket for this because like this is a huge GPU, triple slot, that means heavy. No wonder it will bend a few years later. But let's see, 155 plus 362. Yeah, it's actually 517, which is tolerable, of course tolerable. So here we go. So the GPU is like an RX 5700 XT, and here's the price, 362.75 plus, I think, 155.52, 155.52. Oh, oops. 55.52. Here we go. It's a decent build. Here you go. Here's the listings of mine and the AI. It's up to you which one you'll choose. But as far as I think, by pure performance means, the PCI build wins. But for longevity and PCI Express 4.0 support, this build wins. And for CPU performance related things, this build wins. So I think this should be tied. But if we actually like consider pure gaming performance with heavy graphics, then yeah, mine wins. So as far as I think, I can give myself a point for this, and the AI can get points for a good, better CPU for that. So here's the points. Now let's move on to the $1,000 build. So this is the second round, and this time we'll spend $1,000 in a build. So let's get started. So I'll just copy and paste my old prompt and just replace the 500 with 1000. So let's get started. Okay, so it's generating now. Okay. So the problem of this 2024 listing is that I don't think it can actually recommend any RTX 5000 series card or any RX 9000 series cards. Because like, look at this. Look at this. In this case, I would like for 1000 USD, I would definitely go for the 9060 XT, because for 1000, you actually using a 970 800 XT is kind of hard. It's better going off with the 9060 XT 16 gig version. Always consider the 16 gig version if you can afford. Always. So, okay. PCIe 5.0 support. Wait, does this thing actually supports PCIe 5.0? I don't think so. I don't think most of the B65 motherboards actually support PCIe Gen 5, unless you're talking about only storage. That's a different thing. And as far as I know, the B650E chipset actually supports PCIe 5, which is, I think, one of the most underrated chipsets in the motherboard market. But anyways, let's see. And here we go, Lightning Gen 4, not 5. So DeepSeek actually made a small mistake here. Let me check the specifications to just like confirm. I know it doesn't support PCI Express 5 from the very beginning, but still, I'm just confirming again. Here we go, PCIe 4, PCIe 4. So yep, no PCI Express 5.0 support. And for the VRMs, let's see the VRM phases. If it actually states the VRM phase, let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. 8 plus 2 plus 1. So for a budget board, I think it's okay, but if you want to go a bit higher, I don't think this would be a good power phase recommendation. And especially for a $1,000 build, it's kind of tough to say. Because I think I can get a better motherboard. I don't know. I'll just check, because for a long day I didn't actually check the price, so I have to check. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Crucial P5 plus 1 terabyte. Yeah, it's actually a pretty solid SSD. The P5 Crucial P5 Plus. It's actually a pretty decent one. So Team Group T Vulcan, okay. RAM is okay. Motherboard is kind of oopsie here. Corsair RM750E. Oh, that's actually a good PSU. So I won't complain about that. Lianli case Lianli Landcool to 1580X. One thing I'm actually noticing that this doesn't actually like states any kind of aftermarket cooler. Yeah, I know. The 7600 can actually run well with a stock cooler, but still, aftermarket cooler is actually it actually can do a pretty good job. For example, I'm using a Deepcool AG400 digital. I know Deepcool products aren't in the US, so this product is already disqualified. But as I am in Bangladesh, I can use it. I can use any Deepcool product, and to be honest, it's actually an awesome product. GPU alternative. Oh, it actually states an alternative, which is actually pretty cool. So moving to my own build to PC part picker. Okay, so we're in the $1,000 mark, and it's our turn now. And let's choose a CPU right now. AI needs to be like almost real time responsive, because like if they don't, they will miss on like the updated pricing, the updated stuff, the best deals, etc. etc. So I think in this section, AI actually lags behind a bit. Anyways, let's add the CPU. The 7600X is my first choice. And the cooler, I'm actually a little biased to air coolers, and for this budget, I think air cooling is kind of sensible, at least. Anyways, let me. Here we go. Thermalright Assassin X SE. I can take that, or I can take this Refined SE. Assassin X Refined SE. It's your personal preference, but I'll take this anyways because it's a little cheaper. Okay, and choose a motherboard now. In this case, it depends on you because there are actually two good motherboards at 190, 120 bucks. One is like ASRock B580M, and there is the Gigabyte B650M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi at 124 bucks. It actually depends on you that what you actually wanna go for, because this motherboard actually has like PCI Express 5.0 support, but only has one M.2 slot, so you're gonna face a hard time upgrading the storage. But in this case, you got two M.2 slots, so it's pretty easy for you. And this motherboard got only 2 RAM slots, and this got 4. So I picked this. But if you personally prioritize the PCI Gen 5, then take this. But in the end, for this generation, PCI Express 5.0 doesn't matter that much. And let us choose the memory. In this case, we'll actually see the lowest price. I actually love Patriot for some reason, but this time, I'm actually going for Silicon Power X Power Pulse Gaming 32 gigs here. And for storage, I actually got a personal preference for the storage, which is the SN770 with 1 terabyte. There we go. And for the video card, this fact is interesting. 9060 XT, of course, the 16 gigabyte one. Always confirm that this is a 16 gigabyte version if you're on a $1,000 budget bracket. And choose a case. Montech is the budget boss here. Here we go. Montech. I want to actually go for a cheaper case, X5M, which has a huge clearance for GPUs. Let's add this. Oh wait, where's that power supply? This is so the best bet for you is a 650 watt PSU, and as far as I think, the best one is the MSI Mag A650BN. It's a decent PSU, under 1,000 bucks. That's a good thing, but we still have one thing left. I'm presuming that the case doesn't come with any pre-installed fans. I don't know if they actually come with. Well, let's just check it anyways. Let's see. Case, here we go. Let's see if there isn't pre-installed fans. The carbon fiber paint is literally, like, seriously, it's interesting to look. So if aesthetic-wise, this actually gets a point. Yes, it actually does. So you don't have to worry about any fan because it actually comes with. Anyways, so here we go. But for now, this is the setup, and as far as I think, it shouldn't cause any kind of issues. If we actually come to compare these two, wait, how is this even possible? Let me check for a minute. Let me check for a minute. $200 plus 500 plus. Wait, there is no way this thing is actually fitting for $1,000. Almost there. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't actually like. Okay. Anyways, so back to our main topic. Even the used market can provide you a good deal. Like still you have to like pay 40 to $50 extra even in the used market. So there isn't any chance that you can find this card brand new at even $500. So yeah, it has have to check the real-time pricing, though I don't think DeepSeek can do that. But if any AI can do that, please let me know in the comments. I assume that there are some AI models that can do that. I've already like saw some AI models that can actually scrap real-time data. But anyhow, I'm sorry, DeepSeek, you can't actually grab the points because you're way over the budget. Number one fact. And number two fact is that there is actually no PCI 5 support, so that's kind of like a bait. If you really want a PCI 5.0 support, get the ASRock B850M X Wi-Fi. It's your wish. Yeah, I lost this round. DeepSeek lost this round. Sorry, DeepSeek. Good luck for the $2,000 round. So we're simply back again for the final round, and this time it's AI's turn. And let's just copy paste our old prompt again. It feels like I'm vibe coding for some reason. And just make it 2000. The problem is, I think DeepSeek don't know about the RTX 5000 series or the Radeon RX 9000 series as far as I know. Yeah, it doesn't know that the 50 series exists. So, the fact is that, first, I don't think any 4080 Super is available for $1,000. And 4K Ultra, okay, I get it, can be. And the RX 7900 XTX, I didn't actually check the pricing of the 7900 XTX for a long time, so I have to also check that. But let's see, RM1000E, which is a decent PSU. But I doubt that it's actually an A-tier PSU, because like, if you really want an A-tier PSU, like if you really want an RTX 4090, you actually need an A-tier PSU. Either way, I think, yeah, it's the B plus power supply unit anyway, but still, B plus isn't bad. Like for a 5070 Ti, it's actually decent. But for GPUs like the 5080 or the 4080 or the 4090 or the 4080 Super, an A-tier PSU is actually recommended. Anyways, the real issue is the Tough Gaming B650 doesn't even support PCIe 5.0. I'm not sure about the Wi-Fi 6E, I have to check it out, but maybe it supports, but PCIe 5.0, no, it doesn't support PCIe 5.0. At least the GPU that the PCI X16 doesn't support. And storage, Samsung Pro, okay, decent storage, decent RAM modules, okay CPU. No, it's not okay, it's the best CPU on the market for 2024. Overkill wattage for future upgrades, RTX 5090. Yeah, it still thinks the RTX 5090 is still a rumored GPU, not an actual one. Quite unreliable. Kinda, but I think you could just get an A-tier PSU anyways. And Thermal Right Phantom Spirit, I got no complaints. Case Lee, okay. Optional upgrades, typical LT720. Add another storage. Okay, so this is the $2,000 build for us in so-called 2024, not 2025. Interesting. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so this is our turn in this final round, and let's choose the CPU first. Okay, here's the thing. I actually built another PC a few minutes ago that was with a 5080, but as far as I think, I'm gonna show you the picture right now. if you're seeing the picture, it should be like a solid build for 2000 bucks, a 5080, 1000 watt power supply, blah blah blah. But here's the fact. Choosing a 5070 Ti will be more sensible. Let me show you how. Let me choose the 7800X 3D first. And the fact is, notice that the 5080 build is actually using a 7700X, not a 7800X 3D, which will give a huge performance boost over in almost any CPU intensive game or almost any graphical intensive game also. So let's just select a cooler. Let's just figure out a budget cooler, because like we actually don't need much of a cooling performance, at least for this X3D processor, because it's very power efficient. And it sometimes it actually like sucks less than 65 watts, so a budget AIO cooler will be enough for it. And a motherboard, I think at this price range, I think a B580 would be more sensible. And yeah, I think this is a fine one. I know the VR interface for this thing is actually like 8 plus 2 plus 2, but it's enough for the 7800X 3D. And for the memory, I'll actually choose the same RAM. I'm using the same RAM modules because it's fine. Wait, let me investigate if this is Hynix or not, because I actually need Hynix. Oh, yeah, their manufacturer is actually SK Hynix. Confirmed. So yeah, this is SK Hynix. So here we go. And for the storage, this is the real deal. You can actually get a 4 terabyte storage at this price point because you're actually saving on a video card a lot. Like the 5070 Ti is actually a lot less expensive. Look, only 749. The Asus Prime, the Gigabyte WindForce SFF. It looks beautiful in my opinion. And I'm not a like huge ARGB fan, so medium level of ARGB is okay for me. And here we go. We add this. We still got some budget spare, but we still have to choose a case, and we'll use the same case again. And yeah, ARGB, 4 pre-installed fans, 3 on the top. So, and Seasonic again, because I'll just rely on Seasonic anyways, because their power supply units are like almost always A grade, and you actually need an A grade PSU for like I actually recommend a A grade PSU for a $2,000 build. So here we go, 1000. I know that a 5070 Ti never needs a 1000 watt power supply. You can actually like get away with the 850 watt power supply unit, but I'll just keep it, because like who knows when you'll upgrade to like an RTX 6080 or a 9080 XT or something like that. I don't know, it's your choice, but you can, if you have some spare cash, you can of course get this, and it's only for like 2016.93 bucks, which is pretty realistic. So yeah, this is my build. And for the AI's build, let's just count. And for the GPU, the 7900 XTX, I have no idea what the price is. Oh, wait. Oh, it's actually pretty low. And as far as AI is actually recommending the 7900 XTX, we can still count this. Okay, so Samsung Pro 2. I think and the prices are the same, because like as far as I remember, prices have gone up since 2024. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's basically cheaper now. It's still in the game. 729. Almost there. Okay, to be honest, this power supply unit is actually B plus tier, which is decent enough, but not decent enough for a 80 class GPU. So, and the final thing is the case. Let's see. The fact is, we should see that does it come with a pre-installed fan. some free pre-installed fans because it's actually important. Because without any kind of wait, why isn't there any? So it's basically what? There's no way this thing is so expensive right now. This is a lousy selection for 2025. You should never buy this case for 250 bucks. This is absolutely nonsense. Wait, was it Evo or the Evo XL? It was the dynamic. No, it's actually the Evo XL one, which is we're not looking for. So I'm sorry, I apologize. The Evo Vision Dynamic. Okay, let's see. Oh, 11. Okay, let's see. Dynamic, the dynamic normal one. Yeah, this. Which is basically out of stock. So let us choose the closest pricing, which is this, but it's white. So again, not acceptable. So yeah, this is the Evo RGB, which is 155 bucks. We'll just take this as an like an alternative. 55. Here you go. 2074. To be honest, not gonna lie, pretty competitive. And not just pretty competitive. As far as I know, this should perform better. So basically, yeah, this time AI has the edge. It's actually terrifying to tell, but AI has basically the edge. So yeah, basically the 7900 XTX is faster in terms of raster, but if you're actually thinking about ray tracing, 5070 Ti takes the cake. Even the latest Gen 9000 series can't actually like be par with the 50 series in ray tracing. So basically, if you want ray tracing, take my build, and if you actually want more storage, take my build, and if you want the best possible raster performance, the best possible everything you can actually take, except the motherboard. You shouldn't take this motherboard. You should take any any decent B580 motherboard instead for like 160 to 180 bucks. Decently low for the Nvidia side, but anyway, you can take either of that, but I would actually lean towards the XTX one because I actually prefer raster. So yeah, basically AI has the edge, kinda has the edge this time, except the motherboard choice and the power supply unit choice. To be honest, the choice of the power supply unit isn't bad. It's just it could be better. So here you go. So this time I think it could be a tie. Again, why tie? Because if you want ray tracing, you can go for the build I've recommended, and if you want like more rasterized performance, you can go for this. And the price is surprisingly almost the same in 2025, despite being a 2024 recommendation. So this sums up the video for now. So let's go to the conclusion. So it's a 3x2, and in the end, I won mainly because the AI couldn't load real-time prices and the component listings are also outdated. But even with this outdated listing, AI did a pretty good job at building PCs. But it still has some room for improvement. Real-time language models can be a good solution for the problem DeepSeek had. And I believe that there are some AI models that can scrap the web for real-time prices and component listings. And by the time they go mainstream, we can be cooked. So this is the end. And until next time, Taiwan is a peace.